Okay, now we're ready to move on with the build, and I did a complete unboxing and I showed you everything that Shipment 21 included, and I did a playlist where you can catch up on all the videos of all the shipments leading up to this point. So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to go right into it, and we're going to go to stage 79, the assembly. Okay, let's empty all the parts from stage 79. And the first thing I noticed we got to do in the instructions is we got to put in the escape pods. So we're going to take, let's see, we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. We're going to use all 11 of them. So let's get these off the tree. So, and again, the way we're going to have these, we're going to put the lines at the bottom. So each one has a little red line, and we got to put that at the bottom. So let's go ahead and we're going to put all of the escape pods in. Here we are. Okay, now we're going to put these in position with piece 79C. And this is 79C. This is going to go right like this. And what this is going to do is it's going to hold all of the escape pods in place. And we need to put, let's see, 2 AM screws. There we are. Nice. Okay, looks like what we got to do now is we're going to put the outer rim on. And it looks like the way we're going to have it is the indentation on the top is going to go on the right-hand side. And those are going to be held in place with 2 IM screws. I just seen them. Here's the AM. Those are FM, DR, here they are, 2 of the IM screws. Here you are. Make sure that they're tight. There. Okay, let's see what's next. We're going to put it into the saucer section now. And it looks like we're going to use the FM screws to hold it in place. So what I'm going to do is we'll put the FM screws aside and put this over here for now. I'm going to move everything aside because we're going to actually put the saucer section on the desk. We're going to make sure to keep that. It's going to be like a nice big pizza. Let's see. And that section is going to go right here. So the first thing we got to do, you can see the little raised part over here. It's going to go in an indentation right there. It's going to go just like that. And that's going to be held in place. Let's see. with 2 of the FM screws. There we are. Okay. So we got that done. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take the cover. We're going to put it in place. Again, we got to make sure that the line is facing down. And just like that, it looks like there's no screw holding it in place. Okay, so now we're going to move on. So we're going to put this beautiful section to the side for a minute. Okay, now we're going to get the secondary hull. And I just had that. Oh, here it is. And a long time ago, we had done this section. And what we're going to do now is, you remember, we had already put the windows in. So this section is going to go on, but first we're going to put the lights in. And the way the lights are, you can see, they're going to be angled. And they're going to go into the slots and they're going to be held in place. Now when you put these in, there are little slots inside that's actually going to allow the bulbs to fit into place. So if we put it like this, and on this section, I'll show you in a minute, but there are actually little pins on the plastic piece for the windows that hold the bulbs in place. You know what? It might just be easier to do this. You see these little pins? Those are going to keep the bulbs from being pulled out. So I'll do it this way because I want to show you. See? Once it's in, the little pin is going to hold the bulb in place. Let's do the same thing for this side. There. All right, they're locked in place, and let's put them in now. I'm going to go over here, just like that. And what we're going to do now is we're going to put the BP screws, so we're going to need 5 of them. So 5 of the BP screws. And you got to make sure not to over tighten these screws, because unlike the frame, which is metal, this is plastic. And if you put them too tight, what you're going to do is you're going to actually strip the piece, and that's not going to be good because then it won't hold. Okay, so we got the panels are in. And what we're going to do now is we're actually going to put the first panel onto the bottom of the secondary hull. So this is the way it's going to look, and we're going to be using DP screws, but is it for all of them? Yes. We're going to be using DP screws. All right. So the way you're going to fish the wires through is through this hole, and what's going to happen is eventually these have to go to the circuit board, but first we're going to hold these in place. You can see, and what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to be careful because this is going to be held in place. It's going to be going into plastic, so we want to make sure that we don't strip it. So we're going to use DP screws. And let's see, we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like we need 5. There. Again, we want it snug, but you got to be careful not to over tighten. So you can see where the battle bridge pieces are going to go. All right, what we got to do now is we're going to put this in the first row on either side on the circuit board or PCB board. All right, so again, I want to make sure that this isn't loose. All right, that's pretty tight. Let's move on. And we're going to move on to stage 80. All right, so we got another section. So we're going to put this part aside. And we're going to do another section with the escape pods. All right, and the first thing we got to do is we got to put the escape pods in. So we're going to need 10 of them. And again, the way we're going to have it is all the lines are going to be facing down. So where are my tweezers? And these things love to jump around. There we are. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put the backing on. That's going to go like so. And that's going to be held in place with 2 AM screws. And let's see how they look. All right, and it looks like what we're going to do again is we're going to put the outer saucer section on, and that's going to go like this. You can see how it's going to line up because of the holes, and there's 2 little pins that come up through, and we're going to be using the, I believe those are the IM screws. Here we are. And we're going to be ready to put this into the primary hull. And we're going to put this aside for the screw. And let's get the primary hull. And this is going to go in this section. There. It takes a little bit to get into place, but when it does, you can hear a click. And we're going to be using the FM screws, so we're going to need a couple of those. There. And what we're going to do now is we're going to put that piece on, that little cover, screw cover. There. And look at that. See the outer edge. Okay. That's all set. I think, let me see, we're going to put this to the side again. Looks like we can move on. That was everything that we did. So now we're going to move on to stage 81. And we've got another section of the skeleton or the frame. Okay, so what we got to do with this one is we're going to take one of the lights and we need to flatten it out. And I'll show you why in a minute. To kind of make it like that, is we have to put it right over there. We do have a bracket that's going to hold it in place. So let me kind of show you how they want us to put the bulb in. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to hold it in place, but this is how they want you to put it in. And the bracket is going to go right here. All right, this is not easy for me. This is how they want you to put it in. And this is a real pain. Matter of fact, you got to be careful. And I'm going to show you from my mistakes. When you try to bend a wire too much, look at what happens. And as a result, I need another wire. I need another light. That's in. And what we're going to do now is we're going to put it into the primary hull. And we're going to be using the BM screws, and we're going to need quite a few. We're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 BM and 1, 2, 3, 4 FM. So we'll do the BM screws first. And we got to make sure that all of the wires are underneath. We can't have them coming through the top. So, and there are little channels where you push the wires in, because if the wires are up top, what's going to happen is when you clamp down and screw down on the frame, it's going to sever the wires, and we don't want that. All right, so this is going to go underneath. All right, so we're going to be using the BM screws. So let's you want it nice and tight, and this is metal on metal, so you want it as tight as you can get it. Obviously you don't want to strip the threads, but you still going to get it nice and tight. Nice. All right, so now we need we need 4 FM screws. So let me try to get it so you can see it like the illustration. I know there's a lot in there. Alright. We put it right in there. And again, all the wires, there's little channels for them to go through so the frame doesn't go up against the wires because they'll end up cutting it. Okay, so that's all set. Okay, now we're going to move on to the step D, and it's going to involve this part. And I saw the windows. Let's see. So it looks like there's going to be a few lights that are going to be on, a few lights that are going to be off. And we need to put in the other bulb. And because I had a problem where I broke the bulb, you know, this is actually pretty a good thing, because I'm going to show you what to do just in case you run into the same problem. I do have some extra lights, but of course, of course, right? They have to be the 4-pin with the 2 bulbs. What I need is one bulb with the 2-pin. So what I have to do is I'm going to show you guys really quickly how to get around this. Now, of course, you could just contact FanHome and they could send out a replacement, but that's going to take a while. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut right here. That. All right, so go ahead and we'll strip the wires, and we're going to take the replacement bulb, and I want some room, so we're going to go down here, and we're going to take this off. Right. Separate the wires. All right. And we're going to splice them together. Now you could solder if you would want to. I don't think I'm going to solder them. I think I'm going to just tape mine in place. Alright, I'm going to use just a tiny bit of tape. And when you're done taping it, the splices together, you got a replacement. And again, I just wanted to show you guys, just in case you were in the same predicament as I am, and I happen to have an extra light. Of course, this is extra. Don't go ahead and take apart any of the bulbs that you're going to need. And we'll put the bulb aside as well. All right. Okay, let's get back to the build. So what we're going to do is this bulb is going to go into this section right here. It's going to go like that. And that's going to be held in place with 2 DP screws. There we are. So we have the repaired line, and we've got the lights that are going to light up these sections. Okay. And now we're going to move on to my favorite part. We're going to test it. And as you can see, it's working properly. So the little section that we did, we repaired the light. And you can see, I didn't even, you know, I said it before, I didn't even know that there were lights over there. I guess it would go, this would be where the dorsal hull starts. And I never really noticed lights over there. Okay, so let's take that back out. So that's all set. And the light that we had put in is, I mean, this one's going to confuse you, so let's put that one aside. This is the one that we put in. You can see the lights. Okay, so we'll put this off. And we're going to put this aside and we're going to move on. So we're going to be going on to stage 82. Section or stage 82. And we're going to have the escape pod bottoms facing outward. And there's exactly 3 of them. Oh, we can't lose that. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to put the backings on. So the smaller one is 82C, and it's this one right here. And it's going to go on like this. And this one is 82D. And it looks like it's going to go this way. Alright, and we're going to need AM screws for all of the holes. There. You can see they're all being held in place, and it looks like we have a section of the windows. And let's see how they're going to go in. We got to follow the angles, so just like that. So it's looking like these windows aren't going to be lit up at all. Alright, you can see how this is going to hold the windows in place. And let's see, I think we're going to put the phaser array on. It's going to look pretty wild, and that's going to be held on with DP screws. So we need 2 of these. And again, you got to be careful because this is going into a plastic socket to screw it into place. So, and there, it looks pretty wild. You see the reflection. I wonder if we're going to put it onto the saucer section, and it looks like we're going to actually get this section again that we just worked on, and it looks like we're going to be putting in the windows. And it looks like they're going to go just like that. And you're going to slide right in. And the windows make all the difference. Look at the difference between just the holes and the actual windows. You can see the room lights that are off and that are on. And let's see, we got these 2 pieces. Let's see what we're going to do with them. And that's it. The stages are completed. So we did this section, and we got this section that's all set. So we're going to put these aside, and that's going to go on a primary hull, and this is going to go on a secondary hull. Let me see if I can. So what I'm thinking is let's get the windows out for a minute. I don't want them to get, they might stay in. So tentatively, going to go like this. And you can see where the secondary hull is going to go on, or the dorsal hull. And again, I got to hold it very carefully. Okay, so looking at the top, and you can see the sections of the rim that we had just worked on. So let me go ahead, I'm going to put it on, and we're going to take a look at the sections that we just did. So let me flip it over. And see, right over here, we did the outer rim. And you can see the sections that the top is all done. The only thing left that we really have to do on the top is put the decals. But absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's a lot of work. A lot of work. Let me flip her over and I'm going to show you the sections that we just worked on. And the battery case keeps falling. I'll be happy when we secure all this stuff in place. All right. So you can see the sections that we worked on. We put these two sections on, and we put the frame on, and we put that light in. So it'll be interesting to see. Let me see, where is the... So this is going to follow along, and I'm thinking that this is going to go in here somewhere, or actually, more likely it's going to go on this side. Yeah, I think it's going to go like that. And that, my friends, was the resuming of formerly Eagle Moss, build the Enterprise D. And this was shipment 21, or issue number 21, that had 79, 80, 81, and 82, all of the parts packs. And this is from FanHome. So my friends, until shipment 22, which I'm very much looking forward to, I thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.